Okay, today our topic is about the trade unions. What is meant by a trade union? This is a pressure group of workers in the production unit. When workers join together and they want to achieve their common objectives, so they will make a union. We know that when people are united, they can have the better influence on the decision making bodies. Okay, so in case of production unit, the employees or the entrepreneurs, they are going to deal with the workers. So workers, if they want to negotiate wages with the employer, and a single worker is going to the employer in order to negotiate the wages, he is not having any influence on the employer because he is a single one. Employer can treat him to have forced dismissal. Okay, so when they make a union, it gives them a strength. Okay, their voice can be listened. Okay, so in that way the workers, they will realize their strengths if they are joined together instead of having a single worker to negotiate with the workers. So trade union means when workers join with each other in order to achieve their common objectives. So it is a kind of pressure group. What it is? It is a kind of pressure group in which the workers join together to achieve their common objectives. So what are their common objectives? Do you know what are their common objectives? The first one is to increase the wages of the members. Wages of the members. Alright? So when they are going to deal with the employees, so the most primary objective is, or the most important objective is to increase the wages of their members. So why the trade union members, they are always raising a voice to increase their wages? The reason behind is that when inflation increases in the country, the general price level increases, so their real wages will go down. They are unable to buy the same number of goods and services within their nominal income as they were buying before the increase in general price level. Their real income have gone down, so they will raise a voice in order to increase the wages of the workers or the members of the trade union. This is the move. And the second is that the second reason why the workers are asking to increase the wages, second is that if economic activity is at boom, like so many goods are demanded, overall demand of the products that has increased in the country. So due to more economic activity, okay, demand of workers is also increasing, so they will also ask for increase in the wages of the members. When economic activity is high, aggregate demand in the country is increasing, so that shows that more labor is demanded, so existing workers will also ask for increase in workers as the new workers are hired at higher wages. Due to competition, when there is a competition in the market, the firms are competing to hire the best workers with themselves. The second reason I give you. The third reason is that if the entrepreneur is earning more and more profit, so the workers will ask that your profit should also be shared with the workers in the form of increase in wages because you are pocketing your own profit. So that is due to the workers' efforts. So workers should also be given a compensation in the form of increase in wages. Okay. Another argument for the increase in wages is that the relative wages. What do you mean by relative wages? For example, a few workers are working in one firm and in the same industry, the other firm has increased the wages of their workforce. So relatively, what is happening? The existing firm workers, they are having lower wages than the other firm's workers. So they will argue that if the other firm in the industry or many other firms in the industry, they are increasing the wages, so we should also be given a raise. Relatively, if a firm is having lower wages in the industry, so in that way the workers will ask to increase the wages of their members. Follow my point? So there can be the different reasons why the trade union workers are having this important objective in their list of objectives, that the wages of the workers, they should be increased. And in case of massive unemployment, when there is a slump in the market, so at that time the trade union will not ask for increase in wages because already there is unemployment. The firm can hire the workers at lower wages. Even a call to the worker to join the workforce is enough during the unemployment period, that workers will join the workforce if job is even offered to them at whatever the wage rate is there. Okay? So during the session, the trade union will not ask for increasing wages. Rather, during the boom period when economic activity is high, the entrepreneurs of the industry, they are earning massive profits, or there is inflation, or relatively a firm workers are having lower wages, so they will be claiming for the increase in wages. Now the second objective of the trade union is to safeguard the jobs of the members What do you mean by this? No unfair dismissals of workers should be there. No worker should be dismissed from his work without giving any notification. You can say without given any type of warning. Okay? So any forced dismissal will be reacted by the trade union, because workers, they are working in order to have the earnings for their families. So if workers are forcefully made redundant, so trade union will take action against. Trade union will rather say, we should rather say, trade union will react to this action of the entrepreneur. Okay? Because workers' jobs should also be protected. There should be a certain level of job security. If there is no job security, the workers will be feeling unsafe in the production. The third objective is to improve the working conditions. What do you mean by this? To improve the working conditions. Like the workers, if they are working in a dangerous environment where life threats are there, if they are dealing with the chemicals, so they are having a threat of getting cancer or other diseases. So the safety measures have to be adopted for the workers. So their working conditions should also be improved by the entrepreneur or enterprise. If the working conditions are damp, they are dirty, they are subject to get diseases. So workers will not be bearing this thing. They may leave for other jobs, to other occupations or to other firms. So trade union will also have this objective to improve the working conditions. Now we can see in the forms the workers, they are provided air conditioned halls during the summer weather. They are also provided lunch if they are working throughout the day. So many of the benefits they are also provided along with improved working conditions. Clear? And the other benefits, to get other benefits, what are those other benefits? Like transportation for their workers, pick and drop service of the workers by the firm, and sometimes we have the health insurance for the workers or education of their children. Their welfare society should also be established by the government. Okay, trade union is not only specific to the workplace where they are having the union, they can also negotiate with the government bodies. Like they will ask the government to increase the minimum wages. If minimum wages are increased, then the trade union will not need to have any industrial action to increase the wages. So trade union is also negotiating with the worker, with the entrepreneurs or employers, and with the government as well. Okay, to have many welfare services provided by the government. Social security hospital is there, which is providing the free health services to the workers who have been registered by their employers. And at the same time, we have the workers' societies in which they are going to have economical housing. Okay, they are provided as well the education of their children. So there is a long list of the other benefits which trade union is claiming, not only from the enterprises but also from the government body. They can also take part in the political activities of the country. Alright? If a trade union is nationwide, so they can have the political influence in the country as well. Okay? Now see, what are the types of trade union? What are the types of trade union? For example, the first type is the general union. What is the general union? Anyone can become the member of this union, whether he is skilled or unskilled. So what is the aim of this type of general union? Like I can give you an example of general bus union. All the workers who are related to the bus transportation, they can become the member. Either they are the drivers or helpers or any cleaner. So what is their aim? To have more members. If they have more members, their industrial action can have more stronger influence. Their aim is to increase the membership. General union, anyone can become the member of this union. Its membership is open for all types of workers. That's why we say it is a general union of the trade of the workers. Okay. No specific skill is required to become the member. The second type of union is the craft union. What do you mean by craft union? Now only the skilled workers will become the members. Like a specific skilled workforce will make a union which will have more influence on the employers. If they go on strike, so what happens? The whole production process can be stopped. For example, the unions of the skilled workers in the surgical industry. Okay? Like you can say the makers, if they are having a specific skill to make an instrument, and if they join together and they make a union, that is called a craft union. A specific skilled workers in the manufacturing industry, if they make a union, that is called a craft union. Alright. Now the third type of union is industrial union. What do you mean by industrial union? We know that in one industry there are many firms, more than one firms in competition we can find. Okay, In case of monopoly, we have a single firm, that is also called an industry. But in case of many firms, we find an industry like textile industry. How many firms are operating in textile industry? There can be many firms, hundreds of firms are there. If the workers of specific industry, they make a union, that is called industrial union. For example, in one of the firm of the industry, there is a strike of the workers. So that strike can be extended to the whole industry in favor of those workers. If any entrepreneur or employer is not doing right things or fair things with the workers, so the strike of the workers can be extended to the whole industry. That will have more impact. Okay? So industrial union, when a specific industry workers, they make a union, that is called what? Industrial union. Now the last one, that is about white collar union. White collar union. So this is the union of office bearers, the educated people. Okay, they are making a union like the unions of bankers. Bankers, those who are doing their jobs in different banks or within the same bank, they have a union. Or the doctors union, young doctors medical association, you can say. So that is a doctors union or teachers union, pilots union. Okay, white collar union is that the union of executives. If they make a union, that is called white collar union. Now we studied the introduction of trade unions, its objectives and the types. Now how will it affect the labor market and the country as a whole? How will it affect? We know that if there is an industrial dispute, what do you mean by industrial dispute? That workers, they are claiming for higher wages, whereas employers, they are not accepting to increase the wages of the workers according to the demand of the workers. So it has an industrial dispute. So the first step to resolve the dispute is to have collective bargaining. Collective bargaining means what? If workers are asking to increase the wages by 20%, as prices are continuously increasing, okay? So trade union is asking for increase in wages by 20%, but employer is not agreeing upon. Employer says that he can only increase the wages if the productivity of workers that also increases, and he is not going to increase the wages by 20%, rather he will only increase the wages by 5%. But there is a huge gap. If collective bargaining is failed, like now employer is saying 5% increase in wages, whereas trade union is demanding 20%. So if they collectively bargain and they increase the wages by 14 to 15%, then the issue is resolved without going into strike. Okay? So if collective bargaining is failed, then industrial action of strike will take place by the workers. So in case of strike, we can have the official strike which is announced to every worker, and unofficial strikes which are unannounced. Suddenly there is going to be a strike in the production unit. So now I am going to draw the union's impact. This is the labor, this is the wage rate, this is the demand of labor, this is supply of labor. What is the equilibrium wage rate? Equilibrium wage rate is here. For example, 500 workers are employed at this equilibrium wage rate. Now equilibrium wage rate is quite lower. In a competitive market, wages are lower. At this wage rate, the workers are unable to fulfill even their basic necessities of life. So when trade union actions take place, now the union wages are going to be higher than the equilibrium wages. So do you think everyone will be employed at this wage rate? No. So previously 500 workers were employed, so at this wage rate, instead of 500, the firm has employed only 300. Some of the workers who are going to be retired after 1 year or 2 years, they will be asked to get retired early. Or some those who are looking to go for other jobs, they will be asked to shift to other jobs, and the rest of the workers, they will be having increasing wages. So firm will reduce the number of workers, either it is increasing the wages by reducing the number of workers hired, or it is making a productivity deal with the workforce. What is the productivity deal? Now the employer is asking the workers, instead of working 7 hours or 8 hours a day, if you increase the working time as well, he is ready to increase the wages. 1 or 2 hours, if you increase the working hours, or increase your productivity, instead of producing 5 minutes in 1 hour, if you increase your productive capacity as well, so there is no harm to increase the wages, because he will look at whether the cost increase is going to be lower than the productivity increase, then definitely he is having no harm to increase the wages. So if productivity is not increased, then the firms they are reluctant to increase the wages. Okay, at this wage rate we see many other workers, though who are not willing to work at equivalent wage rate, they also join the workforce in order to get a job. So more workers are willing to supply their working hours. This is the labor supply, rather the demand is lower. So the trade union is going to have a little type of unemployment. Due to union wages, we can find the unemployment. And now what will be the shape of labor supply due to union action? You see, wages do not come back to their previous level. So this part of the lower part of the supply curve will become ineffective, and we have this type of labor supply curve. Like this is the union wage, and previously this is the demand of labor, and only 300 workers are employed. If labor demand has been increased up till this thing, so more workers can be supplied even by the union, okay, without increasing the wages. This is called closed shop. Closed shop means what? Like if any worker wants to get a job, he has to contact the union. If he wants to get a job, what he wants to do? He wants to get job by the union door. He has to become the member of the union in order to get a job. Closed shop means there is no other option with the worker to get a job until unless he joins the union. So at this kink, what is happening now? Demand is increasing, so more workers can be employed at this union wage rate. And if demand is further increasing, then wages will increase. Okay, so labor supply will have this kink due to this union action. Yeah. So in the competitive market, the union is becoming more effective, and it has to increase the members' wages through industrial action, or ask the government to increase the minimum wages for the whole country. Alright, so this is how the trade union is showing its impact in the labor market. Do you think it is always having the harmful effects for the economy, or it has the benefits? It has benefits as well, like workers' jobs are protected, their working conditions are improved, they have a positive say in the production unit. Okay, economic conditions like employment can be increased to the union as well. But at the same time, they are causing an increase in the cost of production of the goods, which will result into cost push inflation. There can be price wage spiral. What do you mean by price wage spiral? On one side, their incomes are increasing, so they will demand more goods in the market. So general price level will again increase, and on the other side, if cost of production of the producers they are increasing more than the productivity of workers, so definitely he will cover this cost by increasing the prices. So cost push inflation and demand pull inflation both can arise. And government, if it is in the favor of workers, so it is also increasing the wages for the members or the workers. What is happening in that case? If a country is exporting, its cost competitiveness will decrease, and exports will also become expensive, and country will not be able to have more export revenues. Clear or not? So this is about the trade union, how trade union is having impact in the labor market, and how the workers are benefited due to the industrial actions. Yeah?